Meeting of the Kinnelon Board of Education. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies in which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provision of the Act, the Kinnelon Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published in the Suburban Trends on January 22nd, 2023, posted in the Kinnelon Public Library, filed with the Borough Clerk, and posted on the district website. Ms. Keene, would you please call roll?
Mr. Eisenmaker?
Almost here.
Mrs. Leonard? Here. Mr. Myers?
Here. Mrs.
Perrella? Here. Mrs. Portman? Here. And Mr. Petroselli?
Here. If everybody could stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, under routine matters, we have approval of the minutes. So this week we are approving the minutes from the February 21st executive session, the March 1st executive session, and the March 1st regular meeting. So they have a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on any of the minutes? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Keene, please call the board.
Mrs. Portman? Yes. Mrs. Perrella? Yes. Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mrs. Leonard? Yes. Mr. Eisenmaker? Here.
Yes.
And Mr. Petroselli?
Yes. Okay, our student representative is not here tonight, is that correct? Yes. So we will move on to the superintendent's update.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, come on.
Sorry, Ms. Sapio is going to be the student representative.
Hello, I'm going to be the student for today. This is from Kiel School. All students created pinch pots in art class last week with special guest visitor Gloria the Potter. This included a demonstration on how to use a pottery wheel. We had a fun-filled school-wide St. Patrick's Day celebration on Friday, March 17th. Many thanks to Mr. O Mango, the leprechaun, for visiting with Kiel students that morning. Thank you to our entire Kiel community for tremendous participation and support for the annual Leukemia and Lymphoma Society LLS fundraiser. Our students are participating in Spirit Week this week as an added incentive for raising funds for this tremendous cause. As of today, Tuesday, March 28th, we have raised in excess of $5,600. As we head into the first week of April next week, we look forward to celebrating School Librarian Appreciation April 4th, as well as Paraprofessional Appreciation April 5th. We are also excited about a STEM-themed assembly that all Kiel students will attend on Thursday, April 6th. Thank you to Kesha for making this experience possible for our students. And now on to Stony Brook. Thank you to Mr. Omango for a wonderful St. Patrick's Day visit. Our student council has been collecting money to support the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and will end this celebration with a school-wide door decorating contest next week. Stony Brook students are working with Gloria the Potter during the week of March 27th, making pinch pots. We are looking forward to our assembly on April 5th with a science focus, and thank you to the KHSA for this wonderful opportunity. We are looking forward to our annual Field Day T-shirts choice, which is based on a number of submissions by our 5th grade students. And now on to PRM. We are in the midst of our latest Spirit Week at PRM. Students are dressing according to their daily themes, and they are participating enthusiastically as always. This week will culminate with a pep rally to honor our spring athletes. The PRM Student Council is sponsoring a cereal donation drive this week in support of the local food pantry, and they're accepting donations through Friday, March 31st. The 6th grade class took a field trip to medieval times last Friday, and the students and chaperones had a great time learning about the era and enjoying the show. Representatives from the Morris County Prosecutor's Office represented information about staying safe online to our students last Thursday, and we appreciate the time they spent with us and the information that they shared. The 8th grade dance is a long-standing tradition that the 8th grade parents organize for our graduating 8th graders. Over the past few years, an event has been held to reveal the theme of the dance to the students. This happened last week, and the theme is going to be the 90s hip-hop. The students are very excited about it, and we thank Mrs. Arrigo, Mrs. Markley, and all the HSA and 8th grade parent volunteers who are making this event happen for our students. The Destination Imagination State Tournament was held at PRM On March 18th, Kinnelon was well represented, and our district teams performed admirably, and the team Cake Pops from PRMN took first place in their challenge and their instant challenge. Congratulations to all Kinnelon DI teams. And at KHS, the Kinnelon High School Student Council has been hosting a 3-on-3 basketball tournament during lunch. The final game will take place on April 5th at the school assembly, and this is a fundraiser for the NJAC State Charity Imagine and Compassionate Kids New Jersey. Kinnelon High School announced the valedictorian, Andrew Garcia, and the salutatorian, Alex Garcia. Andrew and Alex had 2 highest grade group averages in the senior class. Congratulations to Justin Lennon, Addie Midler, Kira Fishbeck, and Nate Bautista. Their team Kinnelon S'mores placed first in the Regional Destination Imagination Competition last weekend. They will be attending Globals in Kansas City in May. And congratulations to senior Louis Weibel, who placed second in the Terra North Jersey STEM competition for his research in the biostatistics category. He also earned an honorable mention award for his use of stats in his presentation. And that is it. Thank you to all the principals for adding to this contribution. Thank you.
Thank you for presenting. Okay, now we'll move to the superintendent's reports. I'll turn it over to Mr. Mango.
All right, thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mrs. Sapio, for that update, and congratulations to our families and our students who received acknowledgement earlier. Before I begin, I just want to go a little bit out of order and just spend a moment, since we have a pretty large crowd here tonight, recognizing the tragedy in Nashville yesterday. As a parent, as a superintendent, as a community member, this is far-reaching. It impacts all of us. Well before we talk about accolades, whether they be curricular, whether they be instructional, technology, sports, that's all fine and good. But I want everybody in our community to know that security is something I've always taken very serious. You can never be 100% prepared for it. That's why we have to practice, always have discussions, rely on our children and our students, rely on law enforcement, and take every threat seriously, which I do. There are a lot of things coming once we go through the budget that I want our community to be aware of, because I will be reaching out and starting security symposiums, and including stakeholders, because parents need to know, our students need to know. It is a joint effort together. So I'd be remiss if I didn't share how I felt about that and how I believe that we will continue to improve to make sure that our schools are as safe as possible. So when parents receive those phone calls, sometimes they're difficult when it concerns your child, when it comes from school, from an admin or a guidance counselor or a student assistance counselor. I'd ask that before you react, to just think and process for a minute, because we are all parents here at the podium and in this auditorium here tonight. And sometimes we have to just listen to what our school is telling us and adhere on the side of caution. But nevertheless, we will continue to move forward. I just wanted to share that tonight on a little bit on a somber note, on such a positive night. Moving forward just a bit, Give Back Day is something that everybody's been asking me about, so I'd like to put it out in the universe. Should we not use our last emergency day, Give Back Day would be Friday of May before Memorial Day. Now, we have some time. We'll look to board approve that at the April 25th public meeting, but I just want to get that out there. Please share that with your neighbors, for anybody in the cyberspace that's watching us. Please share that. So Friday before Memorial Day weekend, that's when we would look to give back that one day. The Director of Curriculum and Instruction search is underway. It starts tomorrow. We received 33 resumes. We have 7 candidates coming in with the first round interview committee, which will take place Wednesday and Thursday of this week. In the final round, we'll meet with myself and the Education Committee on Monday, April 17th. I look to have a final candidate to the board for approval at our April 25th meeting. And then what they present to us in the final presentation and round of the interviews, they will present at the May 11th focus group meeting as an introduction. So again, please share that amongst your neighborhoods and your friends and families. And so with that, I'm going to call up Mr. Mongan, and we're here tonight for some student recognition and a lot of it. So Mr. Mongan from the middle school, if you would, please come on up. You're our first presentation.
Good evening, everybody. Happy to start off what promises to be a lot of celebration tonight, and we're very fortunate to see so many people here. We're going to start off by looking at the Middle School Leadership Award. This is a really prestigious honor. Each year in Morris County, each middle school is asked to nominate just one student who exemplifies great leadership qualities, who leads by example, who by their every choice and interaction really stands out as someone you can point to everyone in our school, in our community, as someone that just does it right, who really brings such positivity to our school, and again, sets an example for everyone around. We are very pleased to honor Millie Cho as our honoree. Congratulations, Millie. And Millie will also be honored at a county dinner where everybody comes together. It's one of the fantastic gatherings of the year. So congratulations again to Millie and to her family, and we are so pleased to have you represent PRO.
Okay, Mrs. Sapio, you're up next.
All right, hello everyone. I just wanted to share with you that we are going to do our first Flex Day at the high school. It's going to tie in with our 3-on-3 basketball tournament, which is occurring right now. Sharpshooters with 34, very nice. And if you haven't noticed, the kids are participating in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, and it's happening during unit lunch, and the entire side, one side of the new gym is completely covered with spectators. So it's great to see that the kids get to eat their lunch and watch the game. So on Wednesday, April 5th, we are going to do a Flex Day with the championship game. And then afterwards, we are going to do 2 sessions of relaxation, activities outside. They can watch a movie, they can just unwind and be with their friends, be with their teachers, and it's just a different environment for them. And we are looking forward to having them experience this right before the break, okay? So if you have any questions, just let me know. And we look forward to starting our first Flex Day. Thank you.
And if I could, I just want to thank Mrs. Sapio and Mr. Suda and his team and our student council, because really our student council and our administration drive any kind of requests. And quite honestly, from November until now, what you've witnessed at the high school alone is the senior privilege come through. We're going to have our spring powder puff game and now Flex Day on the 5th of April, which are all positive reinforcement, mental health, positive school climate and culture. So really a big thank you to everybody for their hard work and their effort. And Mr. Doty, I see you in the back. At this time, I'm going to call you up and you have the floor.
Good evening, everybody. My pleasure and my privilege to be here after another sports season to let you know about no less than 7 conference and county conference and state sectional championships that our teams won, as well as a lot of individual honors, culminating with a state championship of another individual Kinnelon athlete. So it's just been an unbelievable opportunity for our kids to participate and excel. We heard about a lot of good things going on in the classroom, but there's a lot of things going on as well on the court. And just so the parents that are here, we have pictures set up here. So as soon as your team is done in your group, please come up and we're going to get pictures and all that before we move on to the next team. Okay. First, before we get to particular teams, Melissa Elefante's got to come up here with me. Melissa, where are you? So 50 years ago, Title IX was passed, giving girls an opportunity to participate in activities and things that they never had a chance to before. The New Jersey State Interscholastic Athletic Association, our governing body, recognizes a National Girls and Women's in Sport Day every year in February. Each school is asked to select one young lady who best represents the student athletes from their building. And Melissa is our recipient this year, so we just want to publicly recognize her and congratulate her for that award. Congratulations, Melissa. Next, I'm going to call up our boys basketball coaches, Coach Kessinger, Coach Niss. Boys on the team, come on down, please. You can go both ways. It's all right. Come on. So while they're coming down, once in a while you get lucky, right? And you hire a new coach in the fall and then win a division championship, right? Well, I guess I got lucky twice because we hired a new boys basketball coach and the boys won the division championship this year. Congratulations. Thank you. Coach Kessler's going to tell you a little bit about the season and some of the individual honors the boys received.
Thank you, Mr. Doty. Just a couple of people I want to thank for all the support we had this year. Coach Arroyo, who was here coaching for many years, and I was his assistant for 4 years. Also, obviously, I'd like to thank all the parents. It was a great group of parents. We couldn't have done what we did this year without the parents. Great support. Of course, my assistant coaches, Coach Nist and Coach Grande, who's done an unbelievable job with the football program. Couldn't have done it without them also. Also, I'd like to thank Coach Nino Capra. He's been great. He's always there for us in the weight room and in the gym and so forth, and he's a great support mechanism as well. Mr. Doty, obviously, he's always there when we need help, scheduling, whatever. He's a great support mechanism as well. Just a little bit about the season. We started with 20 players. We finished with 20 players. I think that's a great accomplishment. Nobody left the program for any reason, good or bad. And the kids, they all respected each other. Seniors, juniors, made the freshmen and sophomores feel comfortable. Nobody felt like they were better than anybody else, and I think that was one of the big reasons we had so much success. The coaches in the league, they gave us a very prestigious award. We got the sportsmanship award. Okay, the team sportsmanship. In last June, we set out to accomplish 3 things. One of the goals was we wanted to win a county game and host a county game, and we did that. Another goal was we wanted to win the division, and we did that also. And the third goal was we wanted to make the state tournament, host a state tournament game, and win that, and we did. So all 3 big goals that we tried to accomplish in last June, the guys did it. So that was huge for us also. Some individual accomplishments. First team, all division. Nick Canariato, step out, please, Nick. Step back now, Nick. Dylan Charles was first team. Jay Sperone was second team. And Zach Grande was honorable mention. And lastly, Nick, he got 3rd team All-State, all Group 1, which is an amazing accomplishment. So just like to say that. So that's about it, Mr. Doty.
Go get your pictures, guys. Take that trophy. All right, next up, we're gonna bring up our PRM wrestling team. We have coaches Ben Catella and Dave Jones, and some of the boys on the PRM wrestling team.
First off, I'd like to thank Mr. Mango and the board to recognize us and our accomplishments. Also like to take the time to thank our administration, Mr. Monk and Mr. Buser, always being so supportive. The parents, always supportive. We always brought a big crowd no matter where we went. I'd like to also thank Mr. Nicola, Mr. Calabello, the coaches at the high school, always giving their input and helping us out through the year. It was a special year for us. We were 7-2-1, and I know this group of individuals up here, they placed the college, but as a team, it was a special year. I couldn't do it without Coach Dave Jones being at my side. If everybody ever watches one of our matches, the two of us are all over the place, probably like a little crazy, jumping around, having a good time, but he makes it fun, they make it fun, and it was a really good year. And what makes this year special too, the fact that we were 7-2-1, but we didn't have 4 weight classes. And if you don't realize that, it's given up a lot of points in matches. So that was a big accomplishment. And then on top of that, when we went to counties, we took 5th out of 15 teams, but we were 3 points from 3rd place. So without having 4 weight classes, that's saying a lot for our kids and what they did in the counties. So with some of the place winners here, 4th place, Dylan Petros, he had 4th place. 3rd place was Bryce Ursuline, as well as Leo Dimitrikou, who's not here. 2nd place, Tyler Yildiz, who's not here. And for the first time, we had 2 brothers take 1st place, and that's Stephen and Dominic Malfitano. So give them a hand. Over the last couple of years, we've had a lot of success, and it's, kind of stemming up to the high school, which is great, what we want, and we just want to keep it rolling. So I just want to thank everybody for this recognition, and hopefully we can keep each year bigger and better every time. Thank you very much.
Okay, next we're gonna talk about our girls' basketball season. Olivia, come on up here, please. The girls' basketball team had 2 girls honored with postseason honors. Kate Donaldson was honorable mention all conference and all county. And Olivia Aliotto, standing next to me here tonight, was 2nd team all conference and 1st team all county. Individually, Olivia is, I believe, tell me if I'm wrong, she's on her way to the College of New Jersey next year to play basketball. And the milestone for basketball is if you score 1,000 points, right? So Olivia finished her career this year with 1,067 points. And at this time, I'd like to invite up our bowling coach, Mr. Jim Souls, to tell you about some of his bowlers.
All right, bowling, it's a new sport here at Kinnelon. It's our second year. It was created last year. I would like to thank Mr. Doty and all the support we've had from our parents, including Mr. Eisenmaker. We have a great group of parents that come and support us. And bowling, it's really a fun activity. It gives an opportunity for, some different types of kids. And but I can tell you that, I've learned more from this team than like any other team I've ever coached. They practice, they cheer each other on, and it's really strange because every sport you go into, whether it's, football or lacrosse, you always want the other team to do bad. But in bowling, it's really like a camaraderie between the kids. They actually cheer each other on. It's kind of refreshing, actually. Like I said, I've coached, football, I've coached basketball, I've coached wrestling, and like you're always trying to kill the opponent. But here, this guy right here, Scott Sanzik, he's like the ambassador. Everybody comes to talk to Scott. He makes sure he talks to everybody. He not only talks to the best bowlers, he talks to the beginner bowlers. And him and his sidekick, Pratik, over here, like I said, I couldn't tell you two of the nicest kids in the whole school. Our record this year was our first year in the NJAC conference. We were 12-8, and that's like double the games we've ever played before. So the fact that we didn't have transportation, so I guess you kind of forced the parents to come. But I thought that just the following that we had was fantastic. Pratik Patel, he had honorable mention all conference and honorable mention all county. And Scott Sanzik took us on a little ride this year. So he was first team all conference, first team all state, first team all county. He was first place in the North 1 individual sectional champion. That's all schools, all sizes. So Scott placed first. He made it down to the state individual tournament, and down there he placed 4th overall in the entire state. So. One last thing I'd like to mention about Scott, something that we've all heard about before, but I don't know if anybody else in here has ever achieved. Scott bowled a 300 this year, perfect. KHS bowling team. Thank you very much.
Okay, next up would be our fencing team. Coach Hecht isn't here tonight. I'm going to fill in. Is anybody here? Any of the fencers here? Anybody here? I don't think I saw anybody come in. I'll tell you about them anyway. We have a boys and girls fencing team. It's one of our newer sports. Bowling is the newest. And we had some individuals honored with all conference and all county. And that would be for the girls' side. First team all conference was Emily Ott, and honorable mention was Emma Kleitz. And then for the boys, our boys fencers that received postseason honors, Matt Wabel was second team all conference, and Evan Gray was honorable mention all conference. So congratulations, kids. Another sport we offer here at Kinnelon is ice hockey. It's a little bit different from the other ones. We actually play our ice hockey with Jefferson and Sparta. So it's a tryout, not a co-op with 2 teams, which you sometimes hear in some sports, but with 3 teams. None of our Kinnelon hockey players received any of the all-conference or anything like that. But overall, as a team, the team did win their division this year. So, and we're the first team listed because we're the home school, if you will. So it's the Kinnelon ice hockey team that won the conference championship. So congratulations. This time I want to turn it over to our swim team, Coach Conwell, Coach Boardman, graduate trophies, and your plaques along the way. They got a lot of stuff coming, and team, come on up.
Come on, guys. Yeah, it's a lot. All right, guys, good evening. As you can see, we had a exceptional year this year. This is the first time that Kinnelon has had both the boys and girls team not only win the conference, but also the state sectional finals. So congratulations. We have a number of our swimmers that are not here tonight because they are currently training for their national swim meet down in North Carolina that happens next week. So unfortunately, we couldn't have the whole team here. But I just want to go over, our banquet took 3 hours long. I'm not going to keep you that long, but there were so many accomplishments this year. I want to go through some with you. Again, both our girls and boys were the NJAC Southern 1 Conference champs and also North 1 Group C sectional champs. Our boys ended with an 8-0 record. They finished with a 10-1 record. They finished 1 meet from the state finals. Our girls finished with a 9-0 record, and then they finished the overall season with a 12-1 record, and they made it to the state finals. So it's just an unbelievable season. All conference, we have honorable mention for the boys, Marco Lucci, and then there's a whole bunch of other ones. We have first team, and they do it by event. First team, 2 medley with Will Component, Max Connolly, Ben Papnick, and Dave Zoltek. Another first team is 200 free with David Zoltek. 200 IM, first team, Johnny Papnick. 1 fly, first team, Will Component. 2 free relay, Max, Johnny, Dave, Will, first team. And then 1 breast, Max Connolly, first team. So we pretty much swept all first team for all conference. So it was really a great job. On a side note, Max Connolly also qualified to be considered as a high school All-American. To do that, you have to be considered the top 100 swimmer in the country for that event. So right now he's in consideration. We'll see if he actually gets that. So congratulations, Max. So for the girls team, again, a lot. We have honorable mention, Grace. I think Grace is here, right? Grace is here. Second team is Charlotte. Second team all conference is Charlotte. And then again, we pretty much swept the first team. We had 200 medley relay, 200 free, 1 fly, 2 free relay, 100 back, and 100 breast. So congratulations. We have 1 more senior here, Sam here. She's going to Bucknell next year, so congratulations. And then like Max on the girls' side, we have Anna Component, who not only she ended up getting qualified for second team All-State, and she also made consideration for a high school All-American and 100 butterfly. Again, top 100 in the country. So it's pretty amazing. Congratulations on a great season. Great job, guys. Give them a round.
Okay.
We're taking hardware.
Take the hardware. We don't learn that often. Oh, you guys came down.
Nice job, guys.
Two more teams to go. Next up is going to be our winter track team with Coach Cheverton and Coach Hall. Come on up, winter track team.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight, and thank you to the board for having us, and thank you to administration for the support here. Most of all, thanks to our parents who are unbelievably supportive, and I'll explain a little bit more as to why I can make that statement in a little bit. But well, we're here to recognize the indoor track team. I consider us one team. I don't really like to separate boys and girls. Our numbers were significantly smaller this year. We went from 50 kids last year between the boys and girls to 23 total between the boys and the girls this year. So we had 13 boys and about 9 girls or so, or 10 girls. And it was definitely, we went into the year like, all right, this is going to be tough. And indoor track's a little different than outdoor track in the sense that we don't have conferences. We don't have a conference. We do have a county meet. And county relays and the state meet and everything else, but there's no conference. So you won't hear me say anything about all conference because we don't have a conference. Basically, you go to invitationals and you kind of set your schedule up as a coach where you look at where you want your kids to peak and what makes sense. Like if they're going to go to a meet, what's the point of being there? You have to have a reason to be there. And our boys last year won sectionals for the first time ever in school history. It was a big deal. And our senior class that graduated, like I said, that was a big portion of our team. We have, if you notice, not one freshman in our program. So it was all returning guys and girls in our program. We didn't have freshmen at all, and any boys or girls. And they're a very motivated group. So they didn't look at like, oh, hey, we have lower numbers. I don't know if this is possible. Anyone, if you know anything about track, mile split, we kind of live on that years ago when we didn't have that. We're running numbers all year. Like, can we do this? Can we pull this off again? And just before I get to the section, just to say some things that happened before that, our county meet, I should say our county relay meet, I'll start with. Our boys got second in SMR in the whole county. So that doesn't matter. Private school, big school, small schools, we're all there racing. And Morris County is very good at track. So I think we just got beat by Del Barton, which is, where's Garcia? Wherever he is. He hung in tight on that last leg with the Del Barton guy. And they also qualified at that time for the national meet in March in Boston. So that's a very big accomplishment. In that relay was Joseph Mendy. She's not here tonight, but we'll recognize him. We'll bust his chops later. But Jack Ahart, Andrew Garcia, and Matt Crisper. I was calling Crispy, sorry. And then we also got third in the 4x2 with those gentlemen. Just substitute Garcia out, put Moody in. Okay, so we went this year. We were particular about what races we were going to run. That led us to also state relays. We only went down to run a couple relays because, again, we have limited numbers, so we want to get the most out of them that we can in those certain events. The boys won, so they're state group champs for Group 1 and all of Group 1 in the whole state in the SMR, which is the Sprint Medley Relay, with that team as well. Qualified them again. Obviously, they hit their time again to go to nationals. And at the county meet this year, we had Andrew Garcia, and if you place top 6 in the county, it's an honor. 6th in the 16 and 32, which is not an easy double. And Jack Ahart was our 55-meter champ, and he also set the meet record for the whole county. And with that, he came back and placed second in the 300 and ran a time to qualify him to run the 200 at nationals. So fast. The kid he raced against, fast. It was a good race. So that being said, track again is like any other sport. In order to make the county team, it's one team. It's just all county. There's no first team. There's no second team. There's no honorable mention. It's one team. You have to win your event. You have to win it. Or there's a standard you can hit time-wise or distance-wise if it's a field event. So Jack Ahart is receiving all county for Morris County for winning the 55 as the 55 champ. takes us to our sectional meet. So again, like I said, we went into it knowing this is gonna be tight. We can win this, we can lose this, and we have people that could either place and win it or not place. And it was all up to them, and we talked about it, and we kind of put some pressure on some guys that have never been in that pressure situation before. And when I tell you they stepped up, it was one of the most exciting meets that I think we've all ever been at. We ended up beating Glen Rock by 1 point, came down to the 4x4. Super exciting. We beat them the year before by 5, but having it come down to like, we have to score at least 6th place in the 4x4 to win was pretty intense. I messed up the watch because I was just shaking and screaming. But when I just want to say, to win a sectional title, it takes a team. You can have good individuals, which we did. We have, Jack Ahart, who is competitive at county level, state level, national level. So again, I've learned this quote from a coach there. It's like a Ferrari, he comes around once in a while, not very often. You can't win a team title with just one special car, right? You have to have a bunch of guys that are there willing to do the work with him and support that. Okay, so we asked a lot of guys to do some heavy things. Andrew Garcia was asked to do, and he wanted to do it. It was his choice. Because I said, what is your goal? This was their goal. It's theirs. He tripled. So one day he tripled in the 8, 16, and 32. He won the 8. Sorry, first he won the mile. Then he won the 8. And then he came back in the 32 and got third. That's a tremendous. I'm gonna be a little lengthy. Sorry, talker. And Jack was also obviously pressure on him. Hey, you got to win your events. If we want to beat this team out, you win. So he did that very handily. 55 and the 400 he won. So he's a sectional champ in those events. And Nat ended up getting some points in getting 6 on the 400. Smith helped out big time. Pole vault wasn't even predicted. And let me tell you, Matt in the predictions wasn't predicted either. Got 5th in pole vault big time. They went 1-2. So Ryan got first, and Nate followed him, and they're always competing with each other with 2nd place. So to go 1-2 in the shot, and I tell you, no one predicted them to do that except for us. Okay. So, like I said, the reporter that called said, "Come on, coach, you didn't really think you were going to win." And I said, "We did." I don't know. I said, "No, we did. You can talk to them." And it came down to our 4x4. So I want to say, so Jack kind of tweaked his hamstring in his last race, and we're like, all right, well, what do we do? So Josh had already run a 400. He thinks he's done for the day. He had a snack. He's probably listening to music, hanging out. Coach Hall, who was by my side through all these crazy moments, and a big, big help this year. I just want to also mention, Coach Hall was a sectional champ when he was here, sorry, I just thought. As he's a Kinnelon alumni, so it's nice for us to have coaches come back and be like, hey, I did this, and then kind of pass it on and keep it in the family. So Josh, coach goes over and he's like, Josh, kind of need you to run the 400. He's like, all right, Josh, man, I'm like, sure. Now, nice. We don't need you to run it. He was a leg on that team when he wasn't expected to, and he also had a huge PR doing that. And the other guys ran out of their mind too. Mendy, Moody, and Matt, they all stepped up. They knew what they had to do. Let me tell you, Glen Rock, like, I know Mr. Souls was saying, like, bowling, you're cheering for each other. Like, track's kind of like that to a certain point. Like, you have that camaraderie, but you also want to beat each other. So they were, like, hoping we would get passed by another team, and they did not let it happen. So, again, section champs for the 2nd time in a row, and I'll try to speed it up because I know I'm lengthy. So if you qualify top 6 in your event, you go on to states. So at the state meet, Andrew got 3rd in the 16. We decided to let him focus on 2 events and not have to do 3 because that is a heavy load. And he ran a PR and placed 3rd, which qualified him for the Meet of Champs. You have to place in the top 3 in your event to even move on to the Meet of Champs. And Mr. Jack Ahart, again, he became the 55-meter and 400-meter state champ for all North Route 1 schools in the entire state. So he was the state champ in those 2 events. Woo! go to the meet of champs. Again, you get top 6 in the meet of champs, big honor. Jack placed 5th in the 400, and if you watch that 400 race, it was probably one of the most competitive 400s he's ever run. These kids are all top level, national level kids, and he's one of those kids. And then to end our season, we got to do a really fun thing. I just want to say thank you to the parents, because without their support and them taking them and providing their kids with this opportunity, we wouldn't have been able to go up and do this. But we qualified for Boston in the SMR, and then Jack went up and ran the 200 and 400 as an open event at the national meet. And we represented, I feel, Kinnelon very well. I know Coach and I and the parents were beyond proud of them. Awesome experience to be at, something I don't think that you guys will forget. And at that meet, Jack was in the championship division, which is the highest division you can be in the 400, 200, and got PRs. He also set a county record in the 200 in that meet. And our SMR, every single leg ran a PR as well. And they ranked I think they were 9th, right? Overall out of 70 something teams possibly. I don't think that's else. But again, kids from all over the nation that are high level. And it was a great way to end our season and kind of jumpstart us into spring track, where we're looking to get after to do the just triple crown of sectional champions this year. We haven't been able to pull it off yet, but I honestly feel that this group was a really special group, because it was a true team win, and I was beyond proud of the way they stepped up, and they came to work every day. And it just shows you, doesn't matter how many kids you have, it's the quality of kids you have. And I say it all the time, and I know other coaches feel this way, but I get the best. So. All right, thank you. Sorry for the long-winded season, or song. Go this way.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming to this. Thank you to all the athletes and student leaders. And thank you everyone. We're going to take a 5-minute recess, and if anybody wants to leave, they may do so. If you want to stay for the rest of the meeting, we'll reconvene in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. And we're going to get started. I believe we are moving on to committee reports at this juncture. And again, for board members, this is just the committee reports, not the action items. So we're going to do committee reports, and we'll start off with finance, facilities, and security. So, Mr. Eisenmaker, I believe you're filling in.
Give me 1 second.
All right, we'll give you 1 second. I can do personnel first if you want.
Please do personnel.
Okay, so the personnel's gonna be quick, so you don't have that much time. Personnel meeting, we met twice on March 15th and March 22nd, as you all know. We continued the discussion of the job descriptions that Mr. Mango is working on. We talked about the administrative flow chart, the director of curriculum and instruction applicant pool that Dave talked about today. And then we also talked about the non-tenured staff reviews. So that was really the big piece of that. The links are in the documents for anybody has that. And I think I sent out with the minutes. If anybody has any questions about the non-tenured staff reviews, talk to Dave, or you can reach out to a member of the personnel committee. So that was kind of basically took up most of both meetings, I think, as they're doing it. So it's not a lot of items, but it's a lot of time. So that's it for personnel. So Mr. Eisenman, are you good?
Yes,
Finance?
Jean is not here right now and asked if we could present the finance committee notes from 2 meetings. We had one on the 14th of March and one on the 22nd of March. At the 14th of March, we discussed the architect of record search and 4 firms that had submitted proposals. We had agreed at that time after reviewing that they all met the baselines. We forwarded to the full board for review. We also discussed the budget at both meetings. The first one, we discussed that there are a number of projects that we'd like to accomplish. There's also budgetary constraints, and that we will likely need to use funds from the fund account in order to make things work. Thankfully, for years we've had reserve because that's what you have a fund account for, for building it up if you need it, and that's going to happen again. Carrie also provided a list of those projects that we discussed, and that it's going to use some significant numbers from the cap reserve. We were also looking at the ways that the budget can be impacted by things such as roofs that need to get done, significant costs in buses, and some creative ways that we can work around busing for all the students in the community in order to meet that budget goal to keep it going. And also with full-day kindergarten on the near horizon, it's going to impact everything. And the team at the administrative office had a much better handle on that. But in terms of the committee discussing and being aware that, hey, these things are real, and it's going to take everybody's teamwork to make it happen. And again, there are some significant upgrades to facilities that not just you want or we desire, but that need to happen. Roofs need to happen, especially when they're dripping, and that happens. At the March 22nd meeting, just want to give a shout out to Carrie, and I didn't tell her I was doing this. I just said that she came to us and said that, and I'm going to preface this. I know that this is a public meeting, and when I first say it's going to be like, what? It's like, no, it's going to be okay. She came and she quite, said, hey, you need to know that we had a visit from the IRS. And we're like, what? Just like everybody's like, what? It's going to be okay. But she came, she said, look, this is what happened. We filed quarterly. We filed quarterly with the IRS for what we need to do. We have all the receipts and everything else here. And they messed up on their end, and they came in and, when we sat, and she said she sat for some significant time with them. When they left, they said, yeah, you guys are okay. I think I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think we're still waiting for that to finish, right? So please come and tell us it's all good. See, I told you it's going to be okay.
I love sleeping at night.
And then again, every week, we get closer to passing the budget. The budget presentation happened. There's obviously pieces in motion in order to get the budget approved in April. And we continue to hear reports along those lines to say, yeah, this is what we have to do to make that happen. So it was all in all a very good committee meeting and ended by 6:30.
Okay, we'll go to education and student activities. Mrs. Perla.
Hi, so we had 2 meetings this month. We discussed the biology honors curriculum. We discussed an independent study. We were met with a group of girls that approached the administration. They're very enthusiastic and motivated. They wanted to implement a PRM, a coding club, because they feel like at Stony Brook, Mrs. Bosch does such a great job, and they wanted to kind of continue that on and work with the students. So we feel like that's a great idea. We started taking a look at the KHS clubs and their costs just to review them and find out how many we have and how many are really well attended, which ones aren't, and maybe adding some new ones. We talked about the director of CIA applicant pool. We have 33 applicants, which is phenomenal. And the PRM ILA department expressed a desire to commit and utilize different resources for instruction. So we met with them. They wanted to do that in order to meet New Jersey state standards. And we talked about the possibility of creating a grade 8 honors class for English that we would create a system for the 7th graders if they were interested to test into and just opening up their options to have a little bit more of a rigorous curriculum while still in the middle school.
Back to Mr. Eisenmenger for policy.
Thank you. And the reason I mentioned that finance facilities meeting ended at 6:30 is because both weeks we ended policy after 10:30. So we were really going strong on policy. We have a couple policies that we've been discussing. A couple of them are on for first reading. We are looking at the random drug testing policy, and at the moment it's not up for first reading because we're getting more information. And honestly, one of the things that I like to do just philosophically is not reinvent the wheel. So if we're talking about policies, just doing some homework, looking at other districts and saying, hey, what do other districts have on this topic, and just seeing if there's something out there. Even if we don't use it, it's useful. So we're looking at the random drug testing policy, sick leave policy, and then we're continuing a discussion about the controversial issue policy, this number 2240, and some associated other policies that relate to materials used in instructional settings, libraries, and also the process for members of the public, interested parties to give input and also provide guidance or just other comments about the resources and other materials used. Nothing is final on that. This is full disclosure, things that we're talking about. And if you have any questions or ideas, by all means, shoot them my way.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to the delegate reports. So for the New Jersey school boards, I'll just mention that April 25th is the Spring Education Symposium, which is virtual. So just wanted to mention that. Hopefully everybody got the email about that. So it's 9 to 4 on April 25th, if anybody's interested in that. They have things in there like forming better community relations, educational innovations, and there's a section on school ethics. I think there's other sections as well. I haven't looked at it yet, but just so for everybody who's aware of that. Mrs. Leonard, do you have anything more?
So I was unable to attend the last meeting, but I do have 2 notable updates with regard to Kinnelon. And so the 2 students were from Kinnelon were nominated for Student Leadership Awards, one from Pearl Miller, one from high school, to attend a meeting with their peers from all other Morris County districts. So they will represent Kinnelon. And additionally, later tonight, we're happy board here that's present along with Jean is pleased to formally nominate Mike Petroselli for, get the right name here, for the Morris County School Boards Association 2023 Irene Lefevre Excellence in Boardmanship Award after all his many years of service to the Board of Education here in Kinnelon. So those were the two highlights, and I'll be back next month with some more from the last meeting. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Eisenberg, did you have a legislative one?
Nothing to report.
Okay. And then we have, how did you do with Morris County Educational Services? Kelly?
So their next meeting is coming up, in May, and I'm hoping to attend, but there hasn't been a meeting.
They didn't catch up on case or, okay. Let's see, community relations, we did not meet yet. Our next meeting is, I forget what the May 2nd, May 7th is the next one for community relations. K Cares, we're gonna include that with community relations, is that right? Did you have any other updates?
Yes, so we will plan to include them for the May 1st meeting, if you can put it on the agenda. Mr. Mango and I met with the president of Kinnelon and Councilman Russo last week.
Okay.
We had a really positive meeting. They really shared their vision, their mission, some of the financial constraints they're under, and just we're seeking out brainstorming ways to integrate the school, the community, and it was good. We have a lot of good things, and we'll continue to communicate with them and keep going forward.
Okay, super. Education Foundation.
Yeah, so I was actually able to connect with Michelle last week on the Education Foundation. So we spoke at length about the foundation's purpose, its drives, the hurdles that were there. It's great to see that some of the progress is being made, getting back into the 501c3 status. We spoke about some of the goals and starting to define some of those goals and maybe coming up with like a 3-year plan and those kind of things. So I think there's a lot of stuff that the foundation can do, but it's all in the planning phase now. So more to come on that.
Okay, super. Okay, so we are up to petitions and hearings of citizens on agenda items. So if you would like to come to the microphone, you may do so. Please state your name and your affiliation, I guess, and we'll go from there.
1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. Peter Hughes, 30 Facing Lakes Road, former board member and current superintendent of Cresskill School District. Tonight I wanted to congratulate my friend Michael Petroselli. It was a pleasure to see your name on the agenda for being nominated as New Jersey School Board Excellence in Boardmanship Award by Irene LaFay, who's an outstanding board member who served 30 plus years in the state. She's well known. I think that you follow her example in a lot of ways, Mike. He's an outstanding nominee for serving the children of Kinnelon for 10 years, which is a really long time. Some of his kids are in the audience out here. He's always done it with integrity, passion, and heart. Having served on the board with Mike, I've just always been impressed with his integrity in all things. He always puts kids first in everything that he does. I'm also honoring him tonight as a superintendent, honoring an alumni. So he graduated, similar to Kinnelon, Cresskill teaches students the importance of community service, and Mike exemplifies this value as a volunteer, spending his evenings helping to lead this board. And it's an unpaid position, and it's a lot of time. Tonight I'll be sharing his accomplishment in Cresskill, the town he grew up in. Thank you, Board of Ed, for nominating Mike for this prestigious award. You could not have picked a better board member. Excellent job.
Thank you, Dr. Hughes. Any other public comments?
What he said.
Okay, so seeing no other public comments, we will move to action items. So, Mr. Eisenmenger, you're up again.
All right. Agenda items number 1 through 12 represent the finance, facilities, and security committee recommendations, and we vote upon as a group. Be resolved, Kinnelon Board of Education approve the treasurer's report, the secretary's report, the budget transfers, that's 1, 2, and 3. And the secretary's certification of budgetary line items as of March 28th. Board certification of budgetary line items, and then the bill list you see there in the agenda. looking up on our page for, number 7, be it resolved that the Kinnelon Board of Education, upon recommendation of the superintendent and in accordance with policy 4440, approve reimbursement to the following staff members for out-of-district workshop placement, travel, and related expenses not to exceed amounts. That'll be attachment A at the back. We're also approving and accepting the February 2023 emergency drill report. Number 9 is approving a special ed resolution. I'd be happy to read through that if you want me to, but it's.
No, you don't have to read through it, but did everybody see that today in the update?
At the top of page 5, we are also approving a joint transportation agreement with the Educational Services Commission of Morris County for 23-24. And we are also agreeing with the same commission for non-public education services for that year for professional support services, non-public nursing, non-public technology, textbook, and security. We are also approving new architect of record for the district to Cara Rubino Architects, effective April 1st and through the end of this year. So those are items 1 through 12.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve those items?
Motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? No, seeing none, Ms. Keene, would you please poll the board?
Mrs. Pereira?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mrs. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Eisenbraker?
Yes.
Mrs. Boardman?
Yes.
And Mrs. Fitzgerald.
Yes. Okay, and now I will ask for a motion to suspend the rules, because I see we have, I believe, our wrestling folks here now, so can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second, okay, rules are suspended, we will return to the next agenda item. I'm going to invite Mr. Doty to come back.
And thank you for the board's patience. Sure. Kayla was at another school function across the street at Cypress, so we had to wait for her to get here, but call up Coach Eric DiColo, our head coach, assistant coach Anthony Colabello, and the rest of us. Come on up, guys.
I'd like to thank our Board of Ed, obviously our superintendent, building principals, as well as.
He's gonna be on the team soon, he's coming in.
Obviously, thank you to my wrestlers for your hard work all season. I have a couple people up here. I have Jack Doty, who was first team All NJAC. We also have Colin Altieri and Luke Batesel were first team All NJAC. Jack Doty was also NJSA district champion, so he's a region qualifier this year as well as a district champion. Wyatt Cisco joined him in that honor as district third, but also a region qualifier. Our second team, even on the boys' side, Kayla was our second team conference recipient. Kayla also received first team All NJAC and won the NJAC girls tournament this year. Wyatt Cisco was a second teamer. Max Schmalz was a second teamer. Isaac Nelson and Ezra Bardo were all second team. And then honorable mention was Cody Joskowitz, as voted by the coaches. We also had Luke Batesel place 6th in our county tournament. And our team finished third in the conference. So individually, we had, I think, 8 or 9 of our wrestlers qualify with all conference honors. At a really 12 varsity weight classes, I had a good amount of them actually qualify for all conference honors, which is quite an accomplishment by you and your teammates. Lastly, we had a pretty big deal occur just a couple weeks ago, and Kayla won the individual state title. In wrestling, you go all the way down to 1. So Kayla was the best girl at her weight class in the entire state of New Jersey. This is her state kind of record board that has her bracket on there. So Kayla, that's for you. And then we also got 2 of these made. One is for you to keep, and then one is to hang in the wrestling room for you, kind of as an honor. Thank you. Congratulations. Antonio, maybe you when you get older. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Auditorium.
Okay, thank you everyone for that special interruption. I thought that was one that was worth having. Okay, so we'll move on to the Personnel Negotiations Committee, agenda items number 1 through 7. I'm sorry.
I mean to interrupt just real quick. As follow-up now that the Carabino is approved, they will be in district this Friday for site visits, as we discussed with them during the interview process at each of our facilities. And then I'm in the middle of scheduling Soroka, who is another representative and partner with the Carabino, for Monday, April 3rd at 7 a.m. to start roof inspections. So that'll all kick off Friday and lead into Monday. So I just wanted to have that in before we.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sounds good. No. All right, so agenda items number 1 through 7 for personnel negotiations. You'll see the first one is the leaves, retirements and leaves in that first table under number 1. Number 2 is the appointments of those staff that you see in the table under number 2. Number 3 is payment for the kindergarten warm-up day that you see for the people listed there. Number 4 is a rescind of a payment for home instruction. Number 5 is a payment for a paraprofessional. Number 6 is the approval of a clinical intern that you see there in the table there. And then number 7 is the appointment of the substitutes that you see in the table there. So may I have a motion to approve items number 1 through 7?
Motion.
Okay, is there any discussion on any of those items? Seeing none, Ms. Keen, please call the board.
Mr. Eisenmaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Leonard? Yes. Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mrs. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Boardman?
Yes.
Mr. Patricelli?
Yes. Education and student activities, Mrs. Perrella.
Agenda items number 1 through 4 represent the Education and Student Activities Committee recommendations, and they'll be voted upon as a group. Number 1, we have some field trips coming up to Cedar Crest, AHS Band, Basin Lakes, and Netherlands Petite Paris. Field trips always sound like so much fun. We have the curriculum for biology honors, an advanced digital imaging independent study, and we would like to approve the following programs as indicated below: the summer learning, the DNA barcoding summer research, and the summer enrichment robotics.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve those items?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Keen, please call the board.
Mrs. Boardman?
Yes.
Mrs. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mrs. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Eisenmaker?
Yes.
And Mr. Patricelli?
Yes. Policy Committee, Mr. Eisenmaker.
Policy Committee has 2 items on the agenda that we voted on as a group. Number 1 is first reading of amendments to Regulation 4432, which is sick leave. It's simply amending the number of days from 5 to 3, and there's a number of specific instances where that number occurs, but it's the number of days you're absent before you need a note to either return or extend those absences or leaves. The second item on the agenda is the HIB report through March, or at least currently through March. You see those there for first or second reading.
And may I have a motion to approve those items?
Second.
Okay, any questions or discussion? Seeing none, please call the board, Ms. Keen.
Mr. Eisenmaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Leonard? Yes. Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mrs. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Boardman?
Yes, for number 1, that's stated number 2.
And Mr. Patricelli?
Yes. Okay, I don't believe we have anything on the committee of the whole unless anyone here. Any unfinished business that anyone would like to address? Okay, new business. I don't know if I should be leading this one. They're short.
All right, so we got one piece of new business, it's the nomination of Michael Petrucelli as Morris County School Board Association 2023 Irene Lafayette, basically. Lafayette, okay. Excellence in Boardmanship Award. Be it resolved, whereas while a resident of Kinnelon in the county of Morris, Michael Petrucelli has served a total of 10 years on the Kinnelon Board of Education. And whereas the Kinnelon Board of Education recognizes and acknowledges Michael Petrucelli's noteworthy contributions to the education of students and continual focus on improving student achievement for all students in the district. And whereas the Kinnelon Board of Education recognizes and acknowledges Michael Petrucelli's exemplary leadership on the board and in the community as a school board of education member, and has served as board member for the last 10 years and was reelected to a fourth term in 2021. Served as board president for 2020 and 2021, and vice president for 2022, and currently in 2023. And whereas the Kinnelon Board of Education recognizes and acknowledges Michael Petrucelli's active involvement in school governance at the local level and the Morris County and NJSBA levels, and his commitment to collaborative teamwork in serving the MCSBA Legislative Committee in 2017-18, and represents the NJSBA Kinnelon Board Committee as liaison, and collaborated with NJSBA field representative to implement board training schedules to attain several required responsibilities of the Kinnelon Board of Education throughout the 2020 and 21 calendar year. Whereas the Kinnelon Board of Education recognizes and acknowledges Michael Petrucelli's commitment to personal and professional development, serving 15 years as youth sports coach for soccer, basketball, and baseball for recreation, CYO, and local club teams, Kinnelon Soccer Club for 5 years, Destination Imagination appraiser, acted as the academic decathlon proctor, served as the acolyte director of church leadership for 3 years, and served as alumni interviewer for local high school students applying to his alma mater. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Kinnelon Board of Education does hereby express its appreciation to Michael Petrucelli for his dedicated service, leadership, and contributions to the education of the students in our district. And be it further resolved, the Kinnelon Board of Education secretaries submit the nomination of Michael Petrucelli and this resolution to the Morris County School Boards Association for consideration for the 2023 Irene Lafayette Excellence in Boardmanship Award.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. Much appreciated, everyone. Well, let me ask for a motion to approve first.
Second.
Okay, and I'll just say by way of comments, thank you everyone for the nomination of the award. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the support of current board members and former board members and my family members who, as Dr. Hughes rightly pointed out, 10 years is a really long time, which my family members never cease to remind me. But thank you for all your support and for all the citizens who have elected me 4 times. So I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. Ms. King, would you please call the board?
Mr. Eisenberger?
Yes.
Mrs. Leonard? Yes. Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mrs. Burrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Portman?
Yes.
And Mr. Petrucelli.
Yes. Should I vote no on it?
Abstain.
I could have abstained, I guess. Okay, do we have any correspondence? No correspondence? Okay, time for petitions and hearings of citizens for non-agenda items. So if anybody would like to come up for a non-agenda item, you're more than welcome to do so. Oh, anybody in cyberspace, do you have that?
Not by left.
Oh, okay, all right. So I guess if anybody is on cyberspace and you submitted something after 6:30, we will bring it up at the next meeting. Going once, going twice. Okay. Board member comments. We're up to Mrs. Perrella.
I would love to start. Thanks, Mike. I just want to say congratulations. And it was a really long time. I know when I was a new board member, you welcomed me in and just had so much experience and you were so happy to teach me and help educate me. And I'm sure everybody else feels the same way. And it's a lot of your time to give up to make sure that the community becomes a better place. And I think it's just, shows what an amazing person you are to have been doing it for so long. So thank you. I was very happy to vote yes for that. I also want to say that this has been a really, really busy month. We've had a lot of meetings and we've had a lot of meetings that ran really late. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of my colleagues and my peers and thank you for your dedication. I know that we've been here really late working on a lot of stuff, but I really have enjoyed all the time that we're spending together working on what we're building here, and I just love the vision that we all have. So I just want to say thank you. And I wanted to finish by saying that I send love and prayers to Tennessee. I'm going to echo what Dave opened up our meeting with, and just say that it's just such a terrible thing to have happened, and that we as parents can't wrap our heads around it, and as administrators in schools and people that work in schools and people that are committed to the community, it's really your worst nightmare. And the only thing that we can do is we can send our love and prayers, and we can work in Kinnelon to be as very safe as we can. So thank you to Dave for doing that. Have a good night.
And Ms. Leonard, you want to go next?
So I echo Kelly's comments, and thank you very much for all of your service to the Board of Education, but then also to hear a very long list of other ways that you volunteered to the community, coaching children, so quite a list, which is impressive and makes this community a place where we wanted to raise a family. So thank you to people like you and to your family for supporting you and all that. And just to have the families here tonight, especially, in light of what you mentioned about Tennessee, to have the children and parents here tonight, it's just such a nice feeling and just a nice community. So thank you to those of you, to the new superintendent, to Dave Mango, to making these meetings really such a positive, and the new board, just a positive place to be. I'm very grateful. So thank you.
Mr. Eisenmaker.
I just want to echo what what's already been said. When I got on the board this time last year, you reached out, and I think I can't remember how you phrased it, but I think we said you're the dean of the board. You've been here so long. It's just that you're it's very seasoned, and it's well worth the recognition. And also, just hearing and seeing all the students that are here who are affected by the things that we do, that's why we're on the board. It's not for anything other than making sure that they get the best that we can do for them. And we can see how many excellent students, and not just athletes, come through the doors every day. So we just have to keep it up and keep it going. And we gotta find some more track runners for winter track. And so get those freshmen going. Get the big periods too. So, but best of luck for the spring season, because I see the folks out there on the turf every day, and good luck to them. They can bring just as much success as we've seen now. And thank you to all the parents who have come and are also watching. All the hours waiting in the cars and making dinners and breakfast. So thank you, everybody. It's a great community, and have a good night.
Mrs. Portman?
Just want to echo what everyone said, Mike, very well preserved. And I appreciate all that you've done to welcome me and give me guidance with the board, and for all your help you've done through the years, really, with coaching my sons and TI and basketball and all those good things. It's well deserved. I just am really repeating what everyone has already said. It's a pleasure to be here to see all the accolades. Kinnelon is not a very big school, with a lot of numbers. So I'm always really amazed and impressed by how many accomplishments we have at a really high level, from academic, music, DI, and now all these sports, all these state titles. It's really remarkable, and it's a lot to be proud of, and it has a lot to do with the type of community. So it's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be part of such a positive community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Myers, you're up.
Well, congratulations again to you. Not sure what else to add. Everything else is said, but it's again, it's amazing to be part of such a group. And again, you've always been very helpful in providing information and guidance and where needed. So that's always been a nice reassurance whenever we have questions and those kinds of things. So that's very nice. I also want to thank Dave for making Mr. Mango for making security such a priority as these things move forward. So that's always nice to hear, especially with all the recent events. I've got young kids in the school, and when things like this happen, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. So knowing that security is such a high priority and is becoming so, is always a very nice reassurance. So that's great. I also want to just say that it's amazing to see such great public recognition of students' accomplishments, right? A lot of times we feel like these things are kind of hidden or you can't talk about it, but I think seeing it in such a public forum, and now that it's online so everyone can see it, I think is fantastic. It gives younger kids, their siblings or even younger kids in the elementary schools things to aspire to, right? So I think continuing that is absolutely amazing. It's amazing to see that, every single week. It's great. Maybe we just need better lighting over there.
We can work on that. That's good.
But everything's amazing. So glad to be part of it. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks. And I'll wrap things up with saying congratulations to everybody who was honored here tonight, all the athletes, obviously, but also we had Millie Cho here who got recognized for the leadership award, which I thought was awesome. I just want to throw out there too, I was at the PRN Junior Honor Society induction with Mr. Mango, so that's just another kind of recognition there, like the students who, worked really hard to get recognized for that. So I just wanted to call that as well. My last shout out is going to be to all the Destination Imagination teams. I haven't been involved with it for quite a few years, but for quite a few years I was involved with it. And, I know that's a lot of hard work over the course of the whole year that the kids, put into that. And so it's great to see, kind of Kinnelon still succeeding and coming out of the pandemic and still having a lot of teams succeed at that. So just wanted to call that out as well. And thank you again to my fellow board members for nomination. It's very, very much appreciated. It's great to be a board member in a great town with, other great board members and great staff and great students. So appreciate the staff and the teachers and the administrators and everybody who do just such an awesome job in our district. So thank you, everyone. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, have a good night, everyone. Meeting adjourned.